In our last episode, we fixed more broken stuff on the boat and ate our way through the town of Zihuatanejo. This time around, we take a little tour of my friend's boat, then leave Zihuatanejo behind and make a short hop farther up the coast to Isla Grande and Ixtapa. Good morning. Today we're going to do something a little different than our normal episodes and have another rousing edition of my friend's boat. It's a boat tour. I've said it a million times, and one of these days you'll believe me, but the best thing about our lifestyle is the people we've met along the way. They're interesting, and equally as interesting are their boats. So if you've been watching these videos for a while now, then you've undoubtedly seen Wolf. We've spent a lot of time with this guy. He's a great guy, a heck of a sailor, and a good friend of ours, and his boat is triply exciting because it's got 3 hulls. So today we're going to go rummage through his stuff while he's probably looking and give you a little boat tour. This boat to me is pretty exciting because it's different than your average cruising boat, but also it's because I used to have one of these things. Not exactly the same thing, but my second live-aboard boat back in my early 20s was a 40-foot Piver trimaran. Different layout, but a very similar design. So for me, checking out this boat, it's kind of nostalgic. But what I do want to say about Wolf is he is a professional mariner. When he's not out cruising around on his boat, he spends his working days at sea. This guy's got more sea miles than probably anybody I know. So for a guy with all this experience to pick this boat and to make modifications that fit him and his needs, it's kind of interesting. So I guess that's my point with these boat tours, is that there is no one-size-fits-all, perfect do-it-all boat for everybody. Boats are different, just like the people who use them. And Wolf's boat's a pretty good example of that. It works for him, it's a great boat, and it's pretty cool. So I know a lot of you are hoping for a whole lot of detail from these boat tours. Today's probably not going to be that. Wolf is actually setting sail for Central America. He's trying to get out of here this morning. So we're really going over there to hang out with Wolf, have a little bit of coffee, and say our farewells before he's out of here. So it's not going to be overly detailed, but he's been nice enough to tell us to bring the camera. We can show you around a little bit and hopefully give you a little feel for what this boat's like, because it is pretty cool. And it's different, and that's the point. But hopefully we can kind of show you how interesting and roomy this thing is. The main central hull, which is where the living space is, from the outside looks tiny. But it's roomy. It's got tons of room and tons of storage and some cool things going on. So we're going to go over there, check it out a little bit, hopefully give you a little idea what this thing's like. What was all that?
No.
Start that over, Wolf.
No, yeah, I don't know what to say about the boat.
So what is this thing?
Well, it is a 40-foot Sea Runner trimaran, so it's a bit of a different approach to cruising. But yeah.
And how long have you had it?
In the end, it's I've had it like 5 years now, and cruising on it since probably 3.5, 4. Yeah, it's a pretty bright boat, a lot of air, a lot of nice like living space for the cold and the warm.
And you're sailing single-handed?
Yeah, I'm sailing single-handed most of the time, but you meet so many people, you're not really single-handed.
And you don't have any roller furling?
Nope, I don't have any rotor furling.
How many different sails do you carry?
About 5 different head sails. Hence the reason I don't have the roller furling, because I couldn't change them on the roller furling.
What do you have for steering? Autopilot and a wind vane?
I have a autopilot and a wind vane. It's a Cape Horn wind vane, which goes straight onto the rudder quadrant instead of going to the cockpit.
And how much water do you carry?
280 liters.
Oh, that's pretty good.
So whatever that makes it in gallons. Yeah.
And then what do you have for an engine?
It's a small Westerbeek 27 horse, and my biggest nemesis on this boat.
And why is that? Just because it doesn't? It runs good though, doesn't it?
Yeah, it runs perfect. It runs good. It's just like if you want to do anything on it, even like pull out the dipstick, you have to kind of take it apart already.
Oh yeah.
And it's like a little cubby hole.
But motoring, you go 4 knots, 4.5 knots?
No, 5 knots. Like in flat water, it's 5.5, with like normal revs, not like reefing her up.
Yeah.
But yeah, any kind of headwind slows her down way more than a monohull would be.
But how fast do you go sailing on a pretty decent downwind breeze?
Downwind, I would say about 7.5, 8 knots max.
And you don't even have a racing stripe?
No, I don't have a racing stripe.
Did you ever?
But I got black underwater collar. That makes it fast.
Do you think if you added a stripe it would help?
I don't think so. That's just a myth.
Oh,
I can actually call you into the Mythbusters, and see.
So how do you make power?
Just solar at the moment, and I'm creating a tow generator.
Out of an old wind generator.
Of an old wind generator, but I figure going downwind, I don't have much wind on deck, so I rather have it in the water. Because the boat is easily driven, so it always makes enough speed that I can make power with the tow generator.
You have 2 berths in this main cabin?
3, yeah, including like this kind of like a day bed, and then it used to be 2 doubles up front, and I converted one of the doubles to my storage and tool shed.
Oh yeah. So where do you sleep at anchor? Do you sleep back here?
Yeah, usually back here and there.
And then underway you sleep in the cockpit?
In the cockpit most of the time, yeah.
And you can run all the sails from the cockpit?
More or less, yeah. I have to, for reefing, I have to go on top of the dodger sometimes, but yeah, most of it I can run from inside.
And up forward of the center cockpit, there's a double berth, the head, and an amazing amount of storage. Anything you want to talk about down there?
Well, it's the part of the boat I don't use, more or less. Like, yeah, the toilet and the bathroom I use, but otherwise, I'm basically living in the last 20 feet of the boat.
So, as far as a single-hander, how is the size of boat for you?
It's okay with the center cockpit, and the handling with the 3 sails is okay. Otherwise, it's probably, for my feeling, it's limiting it out already, like it's maxing it out.
So it's too big?
No, it's not too big, but I would not go bigger.
Yeah.
Because I don't think you can really safely handle big sails without technical assistance.
Yeah.
You can always have like electric winches and stuff like that, but that stuff breaks. Yeah.
What made you get a trimaran over a monohull?
Just stability and ease of living on it. Like, it's not rolling, especially downwind. I've seen a lot of yachts crossing the Atlantic rolling quite a lot in the trade winds. And since I'm doing that as a professional already, I don't want to do that in my private life.
Yeah. And for the dinghy, with some help of some rub rails and a custom roller, launching and retrieval, it's pretty quick and easy. Nice. But for me, the big charm of this boat is how comfortable and livable it is for Wolf.
you have to carry
and the
it.
little
I would
custom
trust a
touches
quiet damn
he's
like-
done to make it his own.
I don't like being
Normally you can't get
filmed.
shut up.
I know. I don't like being on camera.
That's a lie, like.
No. Jason's even like.
Oh, even he noticed?
Gull of a pufferfish?
Yeah, but of a big one.
I don't. Yeah, because I wear it all the time.
Yeah.
I do have some on board.
And then stick it up there above the window.
Just get some fingernail polish and then it'll stay
Oh
on longer.
yeah.
Yeah, or
What's the story with this thing?
it's just something I found on the beach combing. And just a little project to make the boat more personal.
You're not personal enough?
Nah. I'm a blunt guy, you know, fitting in with everybody.
Oh yeah.
Everybody's darling.
Yeah.
They'll say it's for each other, but they'll both eat them.
They're like, oh.
There's a nice boat in the background.
Oh.
That'll be the star of the show.
Our vote.
Oh, you mean that yellow catamaran back there? Yeah, I see
Ah,
that.
well.
That's a pretty fast one.
But unfortunately, after a quick cup of coffee and our farewells, Wolf was out of there. We only had a quick few days to spend with our old friend before he was on his way to Central America. All right, that's the end of another rousing edition of My Friend's Boat. Thanks for the boat tour, Wolf. It's great to see you. Hopefully it won't be too long before you see you again. Have a safe trip. But I don't know if you can tell from the video, when Wolf was pulling out of here, there's a bit of swell coming in here. It's actually a pretty good sized swell. You know what that means? There's surfing. I've been itching to go surfing since we've been back on the boat. So we're actually going to get out of Zihuatanejo, pull around the corner. It's about a 12-mile hop to Ixtapa, and there's a pretty good surf break there. So we're getting out of here. We're going surfing. I'm going surfing. Brenda's probably going to find coconuts on the beach. That'll work too. But I'm pretty excited. We're getting out of here. See ya. We're off! There goes Zihuatanejo behind us, and Isla Grande, it's a pretty short little hop. As far as passage making, this is as easy as it gets. It's only about 13 miles, something like that. Pretty simple. And it's nice out, got a pretty good swell, but it's gentle. Got maybe 7 or 8 knots of breeze. So it's a light wind sailing, but we're moving. And we don't have to listen to the engine, which is even better. So this will be a short little hop, easy day sail, especially Brenda's kind of trip. She loves short little hops, easy day sails. After a quick few hours of some pretty easy sailing, we made it to Isla Grande, just outside of Ixtapa. And of course, you gotta go for a celebratory swim. But that's about it for this episode. Thanks for watching. Join us next time as we explore our way around Ixtapa and do our best to not get eaten by crocodiles.